announcement from the 49ers. One of their players shot early this morning in San Francisco. The team says defensive end Keion White was shot in the ankle. Good evening. I'm Claudine Wong.
And I'm Mike Meeback. San Francisco police confirming they did respond to a report of shots fired on Mission right near South Van Ness, 4 o'clock this morning. Police did not identify White as the victim, but the team has since confirmed he was shot.
KTVU's Bailey O'Carroll joins us in the studio with the latest on what we are hearing about this shooting, Bailey.
Yeah, guys, but let's get to the details of what we do know, because it is little. I heard from the team about 30 minutes ago. They did tell me 27-year-old defensive end Keion White is out of surgery and that it was successful. San Francisco police described his injury as non-life threatening. According to police, officers responded to reports of a shooting following an argument that started inside of a business.
So he's lucky, I guess. Sure, the injury from being shot in the ankle, though it's not life-threatening, it is career-ending. For one thing, your ankle it's attached to your foot. That's where a bulk of your body's weight must rest on. He's in the NFL. He's a very large man, close to 300 pounds. Well, he's over 200 pounds. And you have to be an athlete, athletic. They are not hiring people who have injuries and putting them on the field. Your body is your business. See, you can party with black people, or you can have a career in the NFL or the NBA, but you can't do both. And it's a shame that there's only one formula you have to understand. The better looking the black woman that you want to date, the better looking she is, the more dangerous the venues are where you have to go to meet them. You can go to a strip club, yeah, and there'll be some pretty girls there, but you want the big butt, you want the build, you want that beautiful black woman. You're going to have to go to a strip club that's so deep in the hood, you're at like maybe you have a 70% chance of dying that night just to go to that location. And that's pretty much the formula how it works. If you're not into black women, as a black man, you'll live 5 times longer. Your life expectancy quadruples if you're not into black women. Because when you're in these locations, do you think this NFL player was in a venue where a hood rapper was? Because apparently he got into an argument with a rapper, and then someone in the rapper's entourage shot him. This is at a hood ghetto venue in San Francisco. This man's a successful multi-million-dollar athlete. He could have been anywhere. He could have been at the Super Bowl. But he wanted to be in the hood. Why? Because he was thinking he was going to meet some beautiful blonde white chick or some amazing Asian, Japanese. You think that's what he was in there looking for? No. He was in there looking for a sister, Glorilla, Megan. He looking for one of them, one of the video vixens. And he put his life on the line as a professional athlete, a rich man surrounded by majority poor people. Only other guy in there with money was the rapper he got into it with. So the two people with the most money in the building magically found a way to get into an argument, which was likely behind a woman, a black woman. Sure, he survived, but his career is not going to survive.
No arrests have been made. A suspect has not been identified. I spoke with Dr. Rick Lehman.
And a suspect is not going to be identified because the culture of being black is stop snitching. There's no one that's going to go to the police and then they're going to show up to court and they're going to point at somebody and say, he's the one that shot him. Because in the black community, it's worse to be a snitch than a pedophile. So no one's going to tell, no one's going to talk. And yes, this man has built an empire based off of his body. That's essentially the definition of building a house out of matchsticks. You never know when your body's going to give out. If it wasn't him getting shot in the ankle, he could have blew his knee out. He could have tore his Achilles. He could have ruptured something. He's an athlete. You have to protect your body. Your body is all you have. It's not like you built a business based on your brain, your mind, where even if you're in a wheelchair, you can still function. No. You have to be active on the field, and you risk your life and your body's health. I mean, this is why the NFL have rules against players riding motorcycles, because they know once they pay you, if you get yourself in a bad motorcycle accident, their investment in you is going to go belly up, and you're not going to be able to play anymore. The way they banned NFL players from riding motorcycles, they're probably going to have to start banning NFL players from going to any clubs that play hip hop. If these teams are smart, they will put certain bans in effect. Right now, what they do is they have older players that chaperone the men who are on these teams, and they watch them. They talk to them about women, and they tell them that certain women are dangerous. But they don't never give them any advice on how to stay away from black people, because in black culture, it is celebrated to harm and kill one another. They'll tell you, watch out for gold digging women. These women will make false allegations. Okay, cool. But what about how many? This is a second NFL player that just got shot. Another one was it in the Bay Area? No, he was in New York. He just got shot in the stomach. Why are you professional athletes hanging out in these dangerous black venues where they play hip hop? I think the NFL is going to have to, but see, then again, it's being discriminatory. They're being racist. Are they? Or are they using pattern recognition and saying, hey, we're noticing that our players that are hanging out in venues that play hip hop are becoming injured and being shot and getting into a lot of bad situations. That's bad for the team, bad for the league. We're going to ban where you go. I mean, in certain restaurants and clubs in different cities, they have a no hip hop policy in their venue because it brings a crowd that celebrates violence. Now, once you're no longer in the league, if you want to go to these type of clubs and hang out on your off time, go for it. But as long as they're paying you, they need to set up some new restrictions. And guess what? If they want to complain about it being discriminatory, kick them off your team. Let them go get shot while they're a free agent. Let them go waste somebody else's time. But this is a business, and we can't afford for you guys to keep getting shot or having issues. Again, this is the second NFL player. There's not that many players in the NFL. And this is the second one shot by a black person. But I'm the bad guy by saying they should not even be allowed to go to any black venues where they play black music. They should not be allowed because they're not able to judge other people on what they're going to do. But there's a pattern. We know where the highest odds and the most danger is located. And it's not at these nice upscale suburb bars. That's not where the violence is happening. The violence is happening in the hood when they're having hood activities. And this is, again, this is going to be bad for the team. This is bad for the league, but this is really bad for this player. I don't see where they're like, yeah, the guy that got shot in his ankle, let's start him. But that other guy that's completely healthy, that is, a little bit younger than him coming into the league, let's put him on the bench. But let's put the guy that just got shot on. The team is scrambling. The guy is cooked. They're trying to get rid of him. And he was like a star player. They've kicked players out for less. They'll kick you off the team for domestic violence. Now you're a victim of a gunshot. And this was an optional venue. This was an optional outing. You could have used better discernment and not went there. And it's happened so often. I don't see the league or these teams having so much sympathy. That's why I don't have sympathy. I understand the risk. There's a reason why I don't go to the South Side, where I don't hang out in downtown Phoenix or certain parts of certain cities. There's a reason I'm in the nice, upscale, uppity area. There's a reason, because I understand there are inherent dangers if I go to these places trying to meet certain women. And you know what? I have things to do tomorrow. I have plans for the weekend. I can't afford to be dead. I can't afford to be in the hospital. It's expensive. I need to be healthy, alert, and I need to be present. I'm not trying to roll the dice where it's a 50-50 odds I'm going to make it home just because I want to go look at some bad, pretty, big booty chicks. Sometimes you got to get over that taste. You got to get that taste out of your mouth and change what you're into. Maybe you should learn to like Spanish chicks, learn to like Asians, learn to like white chicks. Do something safer. Go find something else safe to play with.
Director of the U.S. Center for Sports Medicine, Dr. Lehman, told me White's recovery time will vary greatly depending on where the bullet hit his ankle.
Well, you never want to get shot in the back because that's where your Achilles is. And you don't really want to get shot on the side because that's where all your major vessels are. So let's say he had a nerve injury, that would end his career. He got shot in something called the posterior tibial nerve. So that would end his career. So hopefully you want to get shot in the front. Well, you don't want to get shot, but if you get shot, you want to get shot in the front or potentially in the side. That would be your preference. And in the
this is so fucking ghetto. Can I just say that this is beyond ghetto and pathetic? We have to literally sit here and talk about how, you know what, we can't just say that black players shouldn't be getting shot. We know they're going to get shot because they like to be around other black people. So we've just accepted that that's a reality. And it's so embarrassing and ghetto because now we're like, well, maybe we should choose where you should get shot versus where you shouldn't. Maybe you should get shot in the front of your foot instead of in the back part. Let's try to figure out the best place for you to get shot. That's how disgusting and degrading the culture is. No one's trying to talk them out of the violence. Now people are just trying to tell them, well, you know what? If you're going to be violent, you should be violent in this way. They just already accepted the fact that there's no stopping it. There's no mitigating it. There's no getting them to make better decisions. It's a guaranteed thing that's going to happen. Let's try to figure out the best place for you to get shot. I mean, you're going to get shot one way or the other. Let's try to see how we can get shot and survive. There's no other racial group in this country that is that anyone has to have these conversations about. That should be embarrassing. That should be, but again, ashamed of nothing, but offended by everything. That's why there will not be any adjustments or any changes to the culture. As individuals, if you can make it through, you have to wake up one day and say, hey, I'm out. You got to have an aha moment. It happened to me. I don't go to those venues. The other day I was with some friends. They were like, oh, let's go to this one bar. I was like, come on, let's go. I was like, where's it at? When they told me the location, I said, let me out. I'm out. I'm taking an Uber. I'm going back to Old Town or I'll go home. The odds of somebody shooting in that place are high. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of really good looking women who are very, very poor. Poor women are fun. You want the poorest women if you can find them. But the thing is, the dangerous poor guys like the poor women too, just like the successful guys. And the two shall not meet. But here we are, the poors, the guys that work, and the women are in the middle. The guys that are poor have nothing to lose. You got everything to lose. You think the guy that shot him is worth anywhere what he was worth? No. He got shot by somebody who's poor that was actually a part of another guy's entourage. He was probably the guy that rolls the weed up or washes his drawers. And he shot you just to earn the favor of the other guy with money because you and him had an argument. And there's no changing this. There's nothing's going to ever get better at all. This is insane that we have to literally try to figure out, I wonder where would be the best place to get shot. This is crazy.
Perfect world, you would get shot and it would not have any bony impact.
The Niners acquired White in a trade with the New England Patriots on October 29th. He started 2 games for San Francisco this season. White recorded his first sack against the Cleveland Browns in November. The Niners said they will provide updates when appropriate. The investigation.
That's crazy. He provided some sacks. Now he's going to get sacked. And I'm not sure how much his insurance is going to cover, but I know this. I know his agent is already making phone calls. They're going to have to start downsizing his entire life. That house he bought his mom, she's going to have to go back to the hood. Mom's is going to have to get a condo somewhere. That house is over. Any of these cars are going to have to get sold. They're going to have to try to see how much capital he's going to have liquid in 2 months because this team's going to cut him and no other team, no matter how good he's healed up, is going to risk paying for somebody to join their squad who already has a pre-existing condition that was an optional injury due to his own self-negligence. That is a self-negligent situation. You took yourself to the, it's not like he was just in a, he was on the team bus and the team bus swerved so it didn't hit a puppy in the road and he fell out of a window and broke his ankle. That's not what happened. He was in a black club full of black people and black shit happened and he got shot. That place was optional. There were a million other venues you could have went to that were safer. But if you don't care about your safety, you also can't care about your future. And I can't expect them to care about your future either. It's inconsequential.
Is ongoing. Police are asking anybody with information to contact them.
There's nobody that's going to contact them.
Ago, 49ers wide receiver Ricky Pearsall was shot in the chest during a robbery in San Francisco's Union Square. That suspect, a juvenile, has since been arrested and charged. Guys.
Certainly that was a robbery, but we still don't know a lot of details of what led up to this shooting with Keion White.
Exactly, yeah. Police have not said what exactly led up to Keion White getting shot in the ankle.
Does it matter? Does it matter? And what do you mean what led up to it? You think they're going to tell you the truth? They're all going to lie. And it doesn't matter. He got shot. The other guy's gone. You're not going to have any ballistics. The camera footage is going to be grainy. Everyone's going to say, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. So no one's going to, who are you going to prosecute? There's not going to be any residue. There's not going to be any weapon recovered. The stop snitching culture activates right now. No one's going to tell. And they're going to kick him out of the NFL. And he's going to be just another retired NFL star that had a future ahead of him and made bad decisions. The first bad decision was wanting to party around black people because that's where the good-looking black women are, in the ghetto. You got to go to the most dangerous, the most grimiest parts of any city, and you're going to find the most beautiful mermaid-looking black women in the world. But if you go somewhere safe, the black women that go to safe places, they're not that cute. They have voices like Fran Drescher, mustaches. But the real pretty ones, you got to go somewhere where you're literally got to roll you're flipping a coin. I might die and I might not. But that's where the women are, in there. So it's kind of like you're walking through a minefield just so you can meet a good looking sister. But again, the safer places, they're not there. That's the formula. So because people always wonder, like, why do you guys go to these venues and these clubs and these strip clubs that are in the ghetto, knowing you might get killed? But that's where the best looking women are when you're black. Really good looking black women do not like safe places. They just don't. So, I mean, I was looking at the Migos. Why do you think they were at that bowling alley surrounded by all these hood people? That's where all the good looking black women are. If the dude from that rap group, if he was into white chicks, he would have been in another part of the city. He'd still be alive to this day, but he's gone. I figured that out years ago. Most of these men who are in prison or dead, they were in there because of the women they were choosing to be with. The guys I know who are still alive, they weren't into black women. They weren't. They didn't like them. It wasn't their cup of tea. But my friends who are into black women, and a lot of them are in jail or dead because they're going to places where they are. Certain clubs, certain after hours, certain parts of certain cities that nobody should want to go to. So again, I mean, I could have did the video talking about, oh yeah, basically he got into an argument with a well-known rapper.
Asking, who the heck is Keion?
I mean, they did respond to a report of shots fired on Michigan right near South Bend at 4 o'clock this morning. Police did not identify White as the victim, but the team has since confirmed he was shot.
Hey man, say it ain't so. We got to talk about this one because this one is out of pocket. An NFL player, a rapper, a stripper party, an argument, and now shot fired.
I didn't even know it was a stripper party, but it doesn't get much more ghetto than that. And you are a multimillionaire where your body is not just your temple, it is your business. Your body is your bread and butter, your entire brand, everything you're building, all of the people that work for you, your entire family, they're all living off of your body, hopefully functioning correctly for the next 4 to 6 years. Because the average NFL player is only 2 years in the league. If you can make it 4 to 6, you'll make enough money that you'll be able to maybe retire. Maybe you'll get a job doing a sports casting afterwards, whatever. But everything, your entire empire is built on your body. That means you can't get sick. You can't get injured. And you definitely cannot get shot. You're literally building a house out of matchsticks, knowing that there's a guy who smokes that lives next door. It's dangerous. And he gets into it. Now, Lil Baby's a very small guy. This NFL player is a very big guy. Why are you guys in there arguing over strippers? Because everybody wants to be the man and everybody wants the best looking women. And whoever's the best looking woman, these men are fighting over. They both have money and they both feel disrespected when the other one is flossing his money to get the attention and the favor of the good looking woman that the other one wants. See, even when I go out personally, if there's girls who are at my table in my section, if they leave my section to go say hi to other guys, I have security come back and block my section. You're not allowed to come back into my section. You have to stay there. Because I've been in situations where girls have left my table, went and talked to other guys for a little bit, came back, and then me and my friends, we can feel these other men across the room staring at us, angry, wanting to kill us, wanting to shoot us, because they're like, who do they think they are? We have money too. They think they can just take our girls. Now these dudes want to fight because these women are going back and forth and they're connecting men to each other that don't need to be connecting. These two dudes did not show up to the venue together. They were separate. They were being connected by some woman who was going back and forth between the table. And that's what set off this fight. I know how this works. I've been in these fights. I've been on both sides of this. So now I can tell you why I don't go around none of it anymore. It's utterly ridiculous. But beyond that, it's extremely dangerous because your odds are only 50-50 of surviving. Any of your altercations, I don't care if you're a giant black dude and you're fighting a midget black guy, your odds don't change. They're still 50-50. They're telling us, yeah, he got shot in the ankle. Like, that's not a big deal. You're an NFL player. All your weight goes on your ankle. That's like being shot in your foot. Oh, it's no big deal. It's a foot shot. I can't run. The nerves in your leg, the ligaments, the bones, anything that's torn in that part of your body, your career is done. Se acabó. It's over. They're not going to pick you over a healthy person who wasn't shot versus the guy that got shot. It's not going to happen. All this ended because you want to go see some really pretty big booty strippers. I don't know. Depending on when you asked me in my life, it would have been worth it. But as of today, I'm like, you know what? There's so many other variety of women that you can go to and that you can go try to meet where you don't have to get shot. Just that one particular group, you risk getting shot if you want to go meet those women. I mean, but like I said, the real story is him being shot. This whole stuff between the rapper and him, that's not even the real story. That's every day. That's common. That's normal. But the sad part is that his career is done. There is no getting back in. I don't care how successful the surgery is. The fact that you're known to have a pre-existing condition means they cannot take you back. They can't.
San Francisco 49ers defensive lineman Keion White was reportedly shot after an argument that allegedly involved Lil Baby. And the internet is already doing what the internet does best, jumping to conclusions.
Yeah, guys, let's get to the details of what we do know because it is little. I heard from the team.
And separate facts from cap. Now, first things first, because some of y'all in the comments already asking, who the heck is Keion White? Keion White is a defensive lineman in the NFL, currently with the San Francisco 49ers. Big body, NFL money, real career on the line.
Yeah, he's way, way too big to be able to afford an ankle injury, a foot injury, an Achilles injury, a torn hamstring. He's too big. He's too big. You cannot be that size, putting that much weight on your legs, your ankles, your feet, your calves, and expect to injure one of those and think you're going to hold your value. There's already somebody his exact same build that's in college that needs somewhere to go play, and they're going to have to swap him out. But what does that mean about his future? That means everything he has, all of his plans, the money he thought he was going to get when his contract, all that is over. And he's going to have to start, they're already going to have to start liquidating everything he owns so that they can just hopefully that he'll land on his feet when this is all said and done. but he's not going to keep this job. And it's not the NBA where your money's guaranteed. You're going to have to perform. And if you're not able to play, the NFL is not going to be empathetic to your situation. They're not going to openly come out and say you're cooked, but they're not going to, pretend like you're going to still be able to play in the NFL. It's not going to happen.
This ain't some random dude. This is a professional athlete who's actively on a roster. So what happened that night? According to multiple reports, and yes, I read all of them so you don't have to, this incident went down late night, early morning in San Francisco after Super Bowl weekend festivities. Now here's what things get spicy. Reports say Keion White was at a private stripper party and Lil Baby was also present or connected to the situation through his...
And that's crazy, because, when you're black, you want to be so hood and so down. And you're like, fuck security. I got my own security. So you want to go into a venue where there's nobody searching people at the door? Because how did they get in with a gun? If I go to somewhere and they're not patting us all down, I don't want to go. I'm leaving. I respect security. I want to see police. I want as many deterrents from having a nigga moment as possible. They went into a private stripper party. That means it's an underground party, not sanctioned. So they're not going to be able to sue the club. I'm sure they just rented out a place to have a Super Bowl party. It's in the hood, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about this. This was not, he just threw everything away so he can just meet some strippers with big booties. That's it. That's what it all boils down to. He has enough money. He could have threw a Super Bowl party at his house, and he could afford to pay every stripper from this party could have came to his house just to strip and dance, and he could have been the only person there. He could have afforded to do that. And guess what? He wouldn't have gotten shot. He wouldn't have had to worry about getting a DUI when he left there, and he would still have his career in the NFL. But people want to go around their own people, knowing that it's dangerous, knowing they're going to get shot because they like feeling validated. I'm hood. I'm connected to the streets. Nothing's going to touch. Nobody going to touch me. I mean, they have this weird bravado about themselves, and it's false. It's a false sense of security. Anybody can get, anything can happen. Anybody can get it. No one's bulletproof. But the odds of you being shot were so high. I mean, honestly, if he would have left there without getting shot, that would have been the real news story. Because, how'd you make it out? This is so common in the community, and there's no other community in the country that can say they're having this same issue. And he had a career, and he just threw it away so he can go hang out at a strip club with rappers, because in a roundabout way, he's a groupie too.
At some point, an argument breaks out. Let me repeat for the slow people in the back.
Yeah, and remember, it happened with the dude on the Broncos, but it just happened to the dude in New York City as well. I don't know if you remember him, Cap, in the USA. There was a dude that was just shot in the stomach by some YN because they got into it outside. And they were fighting with some rappers. Like, NFL players and rappers don't mix. And now the NFL is going to have to ban players while they are employed by the NFL. They're no longer allowed to attend or go to any venues where they play hip hop music. They're going to have to literally ban players from going to anything associated with hip hop. If people are playing black music at that venue and it's, black promoter, if you go, you should get kicked off the team. You should be penalized, and they should make an example, because the odds of you going to one of these dangerous events and making it out unscathed, it's the odds aren't good enough. They're going, and then go it. You're going to call the NFL racist? Okay, then quit. But if the NFL is going to have to do this to protect players from themselves, then so be it. But just allowing them to go to these venues, knowing that these people are going to probably get shot and that there's dangerous places that they're going to have to ban that. It's not just the women they got to worry about. You got to worry about other men with weapons who want to harm you over these women you guys are fighting over. They're going to have to do something about it.
An argument, not a confirmed fight, not a shootout on site. After the argument, things allegedly escalated and shots were fired. Keion White was hit in the lower leg ankle area. Thankfully, according to reports, the injury was non-life-threatening. He was rushed to the hospital, underwent surgery, and is expected to recover.
Doesn't matter. It's not life-ending, but it's career-ending. Going forward, try to make better decisions. I'm taking my own advice. That's why I'm like, and it's difficult because I like them big booties too, but I'm having to learn not like them. just so I can live longer. It's kind of like if you go to the hospital and they say, hey, you're a diabetic now. If you eat certain foods, you're going to die. And you're like, fuck. Now I got to learn to eat vegetables. I got to learn to eat carrots every day. And it's like, it's an adjustment. But if that's what it's going to take for you to do to live, then I'm going to learn to sing some country music songs and drink a Corona, no more Hennessy and tequila. If that's what it's going to take so that I don't end up like him, then so be it. You do what you got to do. You can't, because that other lifestyle is death. It's deadly. That comes with black culture, is death. The blacker you are, the faster death comes for you. So you got to get away from that. And this is a perfect example. People might want to say this and this about me or my opinions, but I'm literally giving you the examples and I'm laying it out for you as clear as day. You can take my advice or you can throw it away. It's up to you. Do me a favor, like and subscribe, share the video, like the channel. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I want to hear your thoughts. I have like 3 or 4 other topics we're going to talk about tonight. So subscribe to the channel. I'll be back on live in about 20 minutes. Remember, it's America first and America.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.